Hello students. In today's class we are going to discuss about operations on list. Already in the previous class we have discussed regarding how to access elements in a list and how to traverse through a list using for and while loop. And now we will discuss about operations on list. So when you consider the operations on list, most probably you will perform all the operations on list by making use of the symbols, which is the operators. Totally you have five different operations that you can perform on list. So list already we know very well, which is a sequence of characters and it can be of any data type. So the elements in a list can be of any data type that will be separated by commas, and the entire elements of the list will be enclosed within square brackets. That is how we will identify that it belongs to a list, right? And the list which we are going to create, on that particular list, how can we perform some operations? So if you look at the operations over here, totally you have five operations like concatenation, repetition, membership testing, slicing and indexing. So concatenation we have already discussed regarding this in the string concept, where you will make use of the plus symbol, yes, to join the two strings. So much similar to that you will be using here in the list also. So here you will be joining the two lists together. In string operation, if you consider, you will just concatenate or you will join the two strings, but in list you will join the two lists together. And the same thing whatever we have done in the string concept, no, much similar to that. Similarly, you cannot add a list to a number, whereas only you can add two list data types together. So let us see some examples related to concatenation operation on list. So if you see here, list one is a variable, and for that list one variable they have created a list. So 13579, and similarly for list 2 variable they have created a list followed by that. So list 1 plus list 2, here they are concatenating both the lists together. So when you concatenate this two lists together, what will happen? It will join the two lists together and it will display as a single list. So 13579 followed by 24681. So everything will be displayed together as a single list value. Got it? And similarly, look at the next example, list 3 and list 4. Here they have given some colors as a string data type. And the same thing they are doing here. List 3 plus list 4, if you do, what will happen? Everything will be joined together and it will be displayed as a single list. So followed by that, let us see the other examples based on the concatenation. And if you see here, here list 1, list 2, list 3 and list 4, all these four lists will remain the same actually. There will be no changes in the original list even after you concatenate. See here, so list 1, 2, 3 and 4, so this will remain the same as such. There will be no changes, that it will not be affected at all even though you concatenate and display the result over here. So this concatenation will display the result at for that time being, and it will not affect the original list which you have already created. Got it? And if you want to use the result of the two concatenated list, we should use an assignment operator. So in case we are concatenating both the lists together, but we cannot access this list for future reference. But if you wanted to use this concatenated list for further reference, you have to assign this to a variable, a new variable. Only then these values will be assigned to the particular variable. So let us see how to do that. If you see here, they have created a variable new list, and for that variable they have assigned the two list data types, list 1 plus list 2. So if you, by doing like this, what will happen? See here, you will concatenate both the lists together and you're assigning it to the variable new list. So what will happen? This particular elements of the list will be assigned to the new list variable, and followed by that, see the concatenation operator, it requires the operands should be of list type only. So it should be completely of the list data type, and you should not try to concatenate any other data type. For example, if you see here, here list 1 variable they have created a data type, the list of integer type, and similarly here they have declared a string type to another variable string 1. And if you try to concatenate the list data type with string, it will immediately display an error stating can only concatenate list and not string to a list. That is, you cannot add a string to a list data type. Similarly, you should concatenate only two lists together. You should not concatenate a string or a number to a list. Got it? And even in this example, if you see here, they are trying to concatenate the integer number 40 to the list data type. It is not possible because it is of list type and it is of integer type. So both are different data types where you cannot concatenate. So it will immediately display an error like can only concatenate list and not into the list. So this is how this concatenation operation takes place in the list. Now repetition. So if you look at repetition, here you will make use of the symbol asterisk, so which is much similar to how you have used in the string even. Yes, so it helps you to repeat the contents, how many number of times that you wanted to repeat. For example, list 1 equal to hello, they have declared as a list. Hello is a string data type which has been created as a list and assigned to list 1 variable. And here list 1 into 4, if you are going to give, what will happen, this hello will be printed 4 times. Yes, that is why we call this as repetition. So for this repetition, you will make use of the symbol asterisk. And one more thing you have to remember is you cannot add a number to number when we are using the concatenation operator, whereas you can multiply a number using when it comes to the repetition operator. You got it? So that is the difference between concatenation and repetition. And now when it comes to membership testing, so membership testing, here you will use two different operators, in and not in operator. So in operator, it actually checks whether the element is present in the list or not. If the element is going to be present inside the list, it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. Whereas not in operator, it acts as the opposite. So not in means if the item is not present in the list, it will return the result as true. If the item is present in the list, it will return the result as false. So see this example here, list 1 equal to red, green and blue they have given. Followed by that, they are checking green in list 1. So green is a string and they are checking whether it is present in the list 1 variable. Yes, it is present. So it will return the result as true. Similarly, Sienna. So this one is present in the list or not, they are checking. It is not there. So it will return as false. Similarly, when you make use of the not in operator, when you check here, they are checking Sienna. This one is not in list 1. Yes, it is not in list 1. So it will return it as true. And green not in list 1 means it is there. How can we say it is not there? So it will return as false. You understood the difference. And now slicing. So slicing means usually what is the general meaning of slicing? So like cutting into two halves or cutting into many different parts, right? So similarly, slicing here means it allows you to create a new list or you can extract a part of the list. So that represents slicing. So the slicing concept even you have discussed in the string concepts also. Even in the string we have done with slicing. Like we can extract a part of the string. Similarly, here you will make use of the symbol colon. Yes, so for slicing operator, you will make use of the symbol colon. So operations on list means you will be completely making use of the symbol based operations on list. So that's why we are performing an operations on list. Yes, and if you see here, the syntax for used for slicing is list of start, stop and step parameters. So totally it consists of three parameters, which is much similar to the range function. And see this example. Here they have created a variable. They have created a string as computer. Yes, and even you can consider this as a list also. So x equal to computer they have given, and this computer will be represented like this. The word computer will be represented in system like this. It takes the positive index right from 0 till 7 and the negative index starts from -1 till -8. So now they have given few codes to slice this list. So to slice this list, so look at the first code, x of 1 is to 4. So 1 is to 4 means the starting parameter they have given, and they have given the stop parameter, but step parameter is missing. So starting parameter is 1. So you have to start from 1. So starting from O, M and P. So 1 less than the ending parameter. So 1 less than the last element you have to take it out. So O, M and P alone will be retrieved. Similarly, 1, 6 and 2. So starting parameter is 1 and ending parameter is 6. So 1 less than 6, only till T you will access. And what is the step parameter, which is 2. So you will skip 1 values in between. So see how many values you are going to retrieve from 1. O, P and T. So only these three letters you will retrieve from the particular word. Similarly, here they have given the starting parameter and ending parameter they have not given. So you can traverse till the end of the letter list. Got it? So starting from 3, that is PUTER. So there is no such restriction. You can traverse till the end of the string. And now here they have not given the starting parameter. So if the starting parameter is going to get missing, you have to start by default from the 0th index position. So by default it will start from the 0th index position. So starting from C, and the ending parameter is 5. So 1 less than 5 is still COMPU until this all the letters gets printed. And if I give minus 1, x of minus 1 means only one index position they have given, so only R will be retrieved. And similarly minus 3 they have given as a starting parameter. So minus 3 if I have given, they have not given the ending parameter. So always accessing the elements will takes place from left to right. So if you see here TER, so this thing gets displayed. Similarly, they have not given the starting parameter and ending parameter as minus 2. So what will happen? 1 less than minus 2 should be taken into count. So starting from C till T will be taken into count and it gets displayed. So this is how the slicing operation will work on list. And even you can look at some other examples over here. They have created a list for list1 variable using the colors, and list1 of 2 is to 6 if I give, what will happen? Starting from the second index position, that is 0, 1 and 2, starting from blue till yellow, 1 less than the last index position. So till this gets displayed. Similarly for 2 is to 20 means 20 is out of the index range. So what will happen? Whatever is available till the end of the list, till that starting from the second index position till the end of the list, everything gets printed. Got it. And 7 is to 2 means what will happen here? 7 is out of the index range and it is not there at all. It is greater than the second index. So always the first index should be less than the second index, because we usually go in the increasing order when we are accessing the elements, right? So starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So always we give the starting parameter. So if the starting parameter is missing, you will start by default from the 0th index position. So otherwise you will give as 1 or 2 or 3. So it's completely up to our wish, right? So always the first parameter should be first index should be less than the second index, but here the first index is greater than the second index. So what will happen? It will result in an empty list. Empty list means empty square brackets will be printed. That represents an empty list. Got it? So this is how slicing works. So slicing operation works on list. And list1 of :5 they have given, so obviously starts from the 0th index position and 1 less than the last one. Similarly, so much similar to the previous examples that we have discussed here, what happened? They have not given both the parameters, start and end parameter. So it will start from the 0th index position and it will move till the end of the parameter, end of the value, but it will skip one values in between, as the step parameter has been given as 2. So if you see here, red, blue, magenta and black gets displayed. So see here, red, blue, magenta and black. Got it? This is how it works. Similarly, -1 as a step parameter they have given. So -1 means what will happen here is it will not skip any values. By default it will print everything right from the last till the first. So right, starting from black till red, everything gets printed in the reverse order. Got it? Now indexing. So indexing is the last operation, and if you see here, as usual, how you will access the elements from the list using the index position. So that represents the indexing. And if you look at indexing, see they have given created two lists, list1 and list2. Followed by that, they are accessing each and every element from the list that we have created. So list1 of 2, if I give, what will happen? Blue will be displayed. Similarly, list1 of -1, again blue. And list2 of 2 means what is the value of list2 of 2, which is 30. And it's in the negative index position -3, again 30. So this is how it works. So these are the operations on list which you can perform. And in the next class, we will be discussing about the built-in functions in Python. So I hope you understood this class, children. Thank you.